All right, we got
the E36 ZHP steering rack. We got new air filter for E92. We got the new low pressure fuel sensor for the E92. We have the O-ring for the E92. We have new drain plugs, oil drain plugs for the E92 because the previous owner mangled mine. Wrappers. And then we have all the crush washers needed for the E36 power steering pump or power steering hose replacement. And then this, I had to order this piece for the E92 because this little piece is missing from mine. And you can't just order, come here. You can't just order this on its own. You have to get the whole dang thing. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe. I got a ton of stuff coming up, and if you're into car content, I may bring back some business content. I'm not sure. I've had a few people ask me about it. And I may try and do some other random videos, still in the car world, car niche, car area, but just a way to get content produced more frequently and easier. Because, you know, doing car stuff every day, it's hard to do if you're not a repair shop or you're not a mechanic or you don't have 15 different project cars and endless money to spend. Because, you know, this stuff, I mean, I'm going to do this regardless of if I'm filming it for YouTube or not. But to just, once I get this done, to just come up with stuff, it gets challenging. So I may throw in some other stuff, maybe some like, not podcast stuff, but maybe more talking style stuff. Talk about car values, talk about driving stuff, talk about just, you know, stuff that car guys talk about. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe. I got a ton of stuff. And this video, I am not finishing this video until both cars are operational. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah. So here we go. The E92 is not going to be hard. The E92, I was basically doing a tune on it. We deleted a few codes for EDC because we're no longer running electronic dampeners. And we deleted the airbag warning light because I'm running bucket seats. So the airbag light was coming on. So I deleted both those codes. But then I was getting the check engine light for fuel, and it's 27 CE is a cell, and 99 out of 100 times that is that sensor that I just showed you. Very easy. Well, I haven't done it yet, so I'm not gonna jinx it. But the sensor is, I don't think you can see it. There's not enough light. The sensor is right back there, so it shouldn't be too hard to replace. So I gotta change that. Once that's done, it'll be easy. Then I'm just putting the new air filter. Putting in this new tube, the piece I just showed you. And then back here, since we deleted the EDC, what I think I might do is remove the actual module, which is back in that hole back there. So we deleted the EDC, and I actually turned off TPMS as well because this car is mainly going to be track use. So I'm going to be messing with my air pressures all the time, and it just gets annoying to have that TPMS light always coming on. So this shouldn't be too hard. The E92 shouldn't be hard, but Old Blue over here might take a little more time because the rack I showed you from Rack Doctor was the ZHP rack that blew while I was at Coda. And you know, altogether, installing a rack is not hard. The hardest part is, and I don't have the light to show you, right back in here, and I'll film this eventually. There is a guibo joint, a guibo, I never know how to say it. But the output shaft from, I don't know what it's called, I'm not a mechanic, these aren't DIYs, so if I use the wrong verbiage, I apologize. The shaft that comes out from the steering rack and connects to the steering shaft, there's a little joint there that connects the two. Dude, I don't care. I've talked to a few mechanics, a few buddies, and they're like, oh, it's super easy. Just, you know, pry it open and slides right. Dude, it is not easy. I don't care what you say. I've never had that be simple. So that's what, I guarantee you that's what's gonna cause the holdup in this already. But I am not ending this video until both of these cars are drivable. The S54 Swapped E36, which, look at this, is just freaking, just gathering dust. Poor guy. Oh, it's a shame. And then this guy. I think what I'm gonna do is start on this one, make some progress because it should be fairly easy, and knock it out, and then probably tomorrow get started on this one, because it is, what time is it? 6:30? Yeah, it's 6:30. Shouldn't take long to do. I should be able to finish this one tonight, and then tomorrow get started on that. All right, so I think I got my light on so you can see that's where that sensor is. Right there, this guy. And you know what? It's not supposed to be torqued really tight from what I read. So I was able to get it out just leaving this stuff in. So yeah, it's super easy to replace. And now I'm moving on to the air filter. Super easy, but I had to show you guys this because look at what my stock air filter looked like. Dude, I don't know when this thing was replaced last. This is, I mean, there was a lot more too. I blew a lot of it out already. But yeah, now I'm gonna replace that elbow, and I mean, honestly, I think we could be good to go on this. Again, I don't think this one, I knew this one wasn't gonna take long. Finish this, maybe go on a drive, and then start looking at this guy. All right, so got everything wrapped up. Again, that was super easy, not hard to do. Now first start with that new sensor, and I've heard it should even out the start a little bit, because there was, oh, let me get in. There was a little bit of like a burble, just not smooth. So let me see. Oh yeah, everything is looking good. The E92 is done, it's ready. I just got to put some miles on it. I am getting this weird 27 CEL check engine, and it's fuel pressure comparison model, and I replaced that sensor like I showed you guys. It's still coming back, but I'm gonna put some miles on it and see what happens. I know some of these fault codes can be triggered because of or have to be like driven out of the system because, you know, it shows 5 miles ago that happened, so it'll keep coming up. So I'm gonna try and put 100 or so miles on it and see if that changes anything. But now, it's rack doctor time. Again, I'm telling you, everything about this job is not bad besides putting that output shaft, whatever it is, into the steering rack or steering column. So let's unbox this bad boy and see what we got. All right, so there it is. We got the steering rack. Everything looks good. Now it is just time to piece all this stuff back together. So again, this is not a tutorial, not a how-to, but yeah, I will I will update y'all. Oh man. Well, it's done. I mean, look, the input shaft, or whatever it's called, from the steering rack going into the steering shaft itself, or steering column, whatever, that actually wasn't bad. I put grease in the Gibo joint, whatever, that it slides into, and it actually went in pretty easily, so that was good. Got that tightened down. Then basically just routed all the hoses back. Everything's good to go now. I've filmed the steering rack install once before on this, so if you guys want to see that, it's there. What I did was I unscrewed the inner tie rod. So those boots right there, you snip each side of the boot, and inside there's like a 32 millimeter. I use this big old crescent wrench, and I removed that from the actual rack itself. Here's the inner tie rod ends it came with right there. So that way I can kind of salvage my alignment, because this piece you screw in, man, this piece you screw until it's tight, right? Whereas this piece right here, that's what you would use to adjust your alignment. So my alignment should still be good. With that being said, I'll still probably go get another one. And now it's just fill up the reservoir, start it up, slowly start to bleed the system. It should be a self-bleeding system, so there's really not much to do. I'll start it up, crank the wheel back and forth. I believe it's a self-bleeding system. I'll just leave the cap open and go from there. All right, boys, new day. I don't think I've started recording today. So we are done with the power steering rack. I also went through and I was running brake duct. I don't think you can see that. I was running brake ducting because I have backing plates to cool these discs, but it's really hard to run brake ducting on a street car because the brake ducting, you know, compresses. It's this material right here, but you have to run it from the bumper to the fender liner and then from the fender liner to the backing plate. And what that does is when that compresses, you know, as you turn the wheel, it compresses and expands. It also rubs the wheel and it decreases the lock or the amount of lock you have by a ton, like a ton. It works for a track car, but because it's very rare that you're going to be full lock on the track. But on a street car, when you're doing, you know, 3-point turns, whatever it is, you want that. So I was rubbing, I was hitting that, it killed my inner fender liner, so I just took that out. I'm going to order new fender liners for this as well. I'm gonna replace those since those are pretty mangled. They always have been, but I just didn't do them any favors by running that. So we got the power steering done, we got the rack done, we got everything done. And I had this box of parts that I've been waiting to install. And you know what? This video is this long anyway. I'm going to keep it going. I have a new rear diffuser. I have a new trim piece that goes right here. This trim piece right there. All of that, because mine is completely just degraded. And yeah, so this piece right here. And you see the plastic part is just, let me see. Like right here, it's just all, every time I wash it, more comes off. I mean, it's just, this is old, faded, it's, not good. So, got a new one of those. And then also, I messed up when I was restoring this originally. I got the textured side moldings, and I have the smooth bumper, they're called, impact strips. I believe they're called impact strips. And I got the smooth version of those, and I just didn't know that I did that. That was just a mistake on my part. So I have the textured impact strips now. I'm just gonna knock everything out and throw it all on there. This video is this long anyway. Might as well do it. I'm gonna end up washing the car after this, so let's just get it as dialed as possible while it's here. So, on to that stuff. All right, boys, so just finishing up the E36, like I said, prior to this, everything's done. Got the front and rear bumper moldings bolted in there, or no, not bolted in, they're just clip in, obviously. Got those in, got this in as well, fits great. So now what I'm gonna do is, since this car is just dusty, I rinse it off. I'm gonna dry it off. It doesn't need a wash, it's just dusty, so I rinsed off the dust. I'm gonna dry it off now and then hopefully go for a rip in both of these to give you guys a little comparison between both of them, because I haven't really driven them both back to back since they've both been like done. So I'm gonna get cleaning on this, see how the weather holds up, and then I'll update you guys. We're taking out this guy, and I forgot to show you guys, this is how OCD I'm getting with this car. I installed new mud flaps. Like, I know that doesn't really mean much to like 99% of people, but like to me, I'm so jacked with that. All right, so we're gonna get in and go for a little ripperoo. And I'm pretty sure my alignment's jacked. Man, I gotta say, I tried my hardest to not mess up the alignment. I messed up the alignment. I mean, I don't know what else you can do. I disconnected the inner tie rods, so basically unscrewed them from the rack itself, and yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but it didn't work. It didn't work at all. So definitely gonna need to go get an alignment, because I really am not connecting that steering rack or steering shaft joint, but it is definitely jacked up. That'll happen. And I gotta say, this, oh man, it feels so much different. I feel like if I went from E36 to E46 to E92, it might not be like as much of like a I don't know, culture shock. This is just like so entirely different, just how cramped it is in here, how everything, the steering position, obviously my steering wheel doesn't help that much, but just everything, the NVH in this, the vibrations that I feel. And I don't even have crazy mounts in this. I have Bimmer Worlds mounts, which I think they're stiffer, but not crazy stiff. The sound, gosh, the sound is so much different, especially compared to, I mean, the E92 now just sounds smooth, kind of. It sounds, especially with that exhaust, it just sounds smooth. That's the only way I can really describe it. This just kind of sounds like raw. People get a little bit of a head start here. Gosh. You just can't beat this car with this motor and a CSL style intake. And I hate the fact that I have a 5th gear grind. Oh, that bugs me. Oh, yeah. That's going to be a pain in the butt to sync up. Gosh, I do miss this car, though. Once I get the steering wheel dialed, the alignment dialed back in, you know, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see if, I'm not entirely sure if, I know I built this to go like to have race car parts. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to keep it as a track car or like a street/track. First off, I don't fit well in this with a helmet on. And I don't know, I would have to go back and look at old videos. I'm not sure if I used to before I had these seats redone, but now I definitely don't. The last time I was at the track, man, it was just, I was just cramped in here. Now I may be able to sell these and get some bucket seats, which would probably help. But you know, I don't know. I may just keep it as a nice, like, street car. But then it just has, I mean, it's got full interior, it's got full everything. So it really doesn't have, like, it has track car parts, but it's more just like a really good street car. At least that's how I look at it. Especially, it's got tall gears, man. I'm running a, I don't know, for those who are new, I have a 364 rear end, Torsen rear end. And it's good, it's just tall. It's, I mean, for what I'm used to, I can't see. I'm going about 70 right now, and I'm spinning about 2,400. Yeah, so it's just, it's tall for what I'm used to. Again, turn on my lights. Well, I mean, the thing feels good. It pulls good. It pulls great. I would say if you're thinking about doing the 6-speed swap, or just in general, if you have an S54 or whatever, I would probably, if I could do it again, I have a lightweight flywheel in this, and when you are just idling with the clutch out, it chatters so loud. It detracts from everything else. It chatters so loud. All right, I need to put the windows down on the top. love the exhaust since we fixed that rasp though. Oh man, this thing is fun. I am curious. I know this should be much faster than my E92, and it feels like it. It feels like it will be, but I am curious. I also need to get my speedo calibrated because I know I'm not going. Let me see here. Alright, yeah. I'm pretty far off. Well, actually I'm not too bad. I show that I'm, wait, how fast am I going? Oh, okay, there we go. So I show I'm going about 54, but I'm actually going about 47. And in this part of town, you gotta be going the speed limit. Cops around here are always radaring. Always, always, always. Probably look at me with a sideways steering wheel and be like, we're just gonna let you go, man. You clearly don't know what you're doing. Something's wrong with you. Oh yeah. All right, boys, new day. A little windy. So listen, here's the deal. I drove the E36 yesterday. Everything's good besides the alignment. And the alignment, I would guess, is okay. The part that's not good is I believe the steering shaft twisted when I was putting in the steering rack. So what I have to do is center the steering rack and then center the wheel, and then I'll go get an alignment, or at least a checkup on an alignment, just to make sure everything's good. And then I wanted to drive the E92 back to back with it, back to back from the E36, but I'm still throwing that 27 CE fuel model comparison code. Since I replaced the sensor, I ordered the sensor that I ordered at the beginning of this video is a Bosch sensor. Now, I'm 99.9% sure the BMW official sensor is a Bosch sensor, but sometimes when you order the BMW official sensor, sometimes that fixes the problem as well. So I have that ordered from BMW. It's getting here tomorrow. Also, I have read that changing the sensor and then putting a few hundred miles on the car will actually fix the issue as well. It kind of like recalibrates things. I have to clear adaptations, clear the code, and then go drive it for like a couple hundred miles. And that's just not fun driving. That's just driving, which you guys, that's boring driving. It's like road trip driving. So I don't want to bore you guys with that, but I don't want to beat on it right now either while that code is being thrown. So I'm going to center the steering rack in the E36, center the wheel, then go get it aligned. I'll probably make a new video about that. And then I'm gonna drive the E92 after I switch it to the BMW official sensor, which will be in tomorrow. So I'm gonna change that as well. Hopefully that fixes the problem. Those will be separate videos, but for now, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I got a ton of stuff coming up. Oh, and my two-car garage door for the detached garage, for the garage build I'm doing, should be here like next week or the following. So my garage build will be able to start up again. So I'm jacked with that because I got a ton of stuff planned for over there. So lots of stuff coming up. If you're new to the channel, guys, smash that subscribe. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.